Community Hotline is made possible with generous support by Gresham Ford, the dealer with a heart. The Contribute to the Community program provides the opportunity for the Gresham Ford team to make a positive impact, serving their customers and helping people across the community. The Outlook, serving the residents of East Multnomah County for more than 100 years. The region's #1 source for information, The Outlook provides readers with intensely local coverage of the issues and people that impact our lives and community. The Mountain Hood Cable Regulatory Commission, advocating on behalf of the public interest on communications policy issues at the local, state, and federal levels.
And by Stamp Connection and BeFit Gyms. A very special thanks to all the sponsors who help make our programming possible.
Hello, I'm Monica Weitzel, the host of Community Hotline. We've enjoyed a brief summer hiatus, but are now excited to bring you another season of stories and information to help you and your neighbors live better in your own community. Tonight's show begins with the Rock and Roll Camp for Girls. Fabulous opportunities were provided local girls at this summer's camp. We're all closet rock stars at heart. These girls got to live out that fantasy. Then we'll talk with the Multnomah County Cultural Coalition about what their summer was like and about their upcoming grant opportunities. And we'll close the show with the West Columbia Gorge Chamber of Commerce and Visitor Center discussing the upcoming Fall Festival of the Arts. This East County event gets bigger and more complex each year as local artists and the community celebrate the season and the amazing art it inspires. There's so much that's good and beautiful right here in our little part of the world. I'm so happy to be back to share it with you again on Community Hotline, coming up next. Hi, and welcome to Community Hotline. I'm Monica Weitzel. We're here in Gresham at MetroEast Community Media. Thanks for joining us tonight. We've got a full show, and we're going to start out talking with the Rock and Roll Camp for Girls. Thanks for being here, ladies.
Thank you.
It's great to have you. So, Christy Balzer, you are the executive director.
That's
wonderful
correct.
to have you.
Thank
Kaylee
you.
Murray, you're a program director. So, Rock and Roll Camp for Girls has been around how long now?
Almost 20 years.
Wow. And it originated right here in Portland.
Yes.
And has it spread to other cities?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So this is like
we're the mothership, as we like to
there
say.
You go. That's a good way to say it. You're the mothership. And that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
How long have you been involved with it? Has it been a long time?
I've been involved about 4 years, a little over 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how much it has changed from the beginning. Do you have any idea?
Yes.
Okay. I'd love to hear.
Yeah, so we did start here in Portland in 2001. We were started by Misty McElroy, who was a Portland State University student at the time. She started the program as her capstone, her senior capstone project. And she really, I think, only intended to do it 1 week. And they had 125 campers that first week.
Wow.
And I think they did it just out of a warehouse building somewhere. And she pulled together her friends, musician friends from all over Portland to come and be volunteers. And I think it really sparked something in everyone who was involved. And they wanted to keep it going. And it's been going ever since.
Wow.
And now there's over, yeah, it is amazing. Yeah. It's really a phenomenon. There's over 100 camps now worldwide that are all based on our model.
That many. That is amazing.
Growing all the time.
Mm-hmm. So is she in touch with Christy? Does she have any connection with that anymore?
No, she's moved on to other things since then.
That's interesting, though, to be the one who started that. I mean, that would be something I'd want on my tombstone or something.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like, hey, that's a legacy. That's really a legacy.
It really is.
So the programs that you have then, there's summer camps, and do you do stuff all year long? Tell me something. You want to tell me something about it, maybe?
Yeah, summer camp is our biggest focus, definitely. We do 4 weeks of summer camp every year. And this year we did 1 week of Teen Week for the first time, which was really awesome.
And how was that different? Or the summer camps for what ages usually?
Normally 9 to 17 it's open to. We also have teen interns that range from like 15 to 17.
So these are girls that have attended the camps in the past and are come back to help.
And then they kind of go into a leadership role and then help the kids under them. And but yeah, it was. But yeah, we do 4 weeks of summer camp, 9 to 17. We're trying to get more teens, so we offered the Teen Week.
The Teen Week was focused
They don't
on
always
that.
want to be around the littles.
They do get a little they get annoying, but hey, they were there not that long ago. I was at someplace in the Northeast this summer, and I saw, I think it was Alberta Abbey, and there was a bunch of girls there. They were there for something with the Rock and Roll Grove.
That's where we hosted our showcases this summer, which was at the Alberta Abbey. So at the end, the culmination of the week, each week, is a showcase where each of the bands that have formed play the song that they created over the course of the week. So it's usually about a 2-hour show, friends and family, and it's open to the public. We encourage everyone to come. The Alberta Abbey has tons of seats, so people come from the community to watch the show. It's really inspiring.
Oh, that's great. And it is inspiring, isn't it? I mean, how you started out as being a part of it, going to the camp, is that right? I
started as a volunteer.
As a volunteer.
I was a volunteer drum instructor and a band manager.
Oh, wow. So what's your background, if you don't mind me asking? Well, I was a drummer.
As a drummer?
How did you get involved? How did you find out about this?
Well, I was a teen who was really interested in drums, and I did like band in school. I played trumpet, but the drums was really like a boys' club, and you couldn't really get into the drums unless you were like already good.
So it
really wasn't a welcoming place to try and learn or feel like I could even touch them. And so I scraped together money and like begged my mom to buy a used drum kit when I was a kid, and then I self-taught.
Oh, wow.
And I'd kind of learned from just watching the kids in like jazz band that would play drums. But I didn't have like formal training in it. No, and it was like I didn't know any female instructors and I was in a single parent household too. Like so it wasn't there wasn't money for extracurriculars or transportation to get there. So
I think that's hard I think that's happened a lot in the past, and hopefully it's changing. But if you don't see somebody that looks like you in that role that you want to be in, it's hard to picture yourself in it, or even if you really want it.
And that's exactly like why I felt so inclined to do it. Like I really believe in the actions it takes to change things that you don't like. It's easy to complain about stuff, but you got to do the work to get out there and fix it.
It's not always comfortable, right? Yeah. So you brought a couple videos with you, and one of them talks about, I don't know what you call it, but there's a video that kind of shows a lot of the girls in action doing things, and kind of gives a feel for what you've got going on there. Do you mind if we go ahead and take a look at that?
Sure, yeah.
Let's go ahead and roll that video.
For more than 10 years, Rock and Roll Camp for Girls has helped build girls' self-esteem through music creation and performance in our Portland location. We are the founding camp and have spread this revolution across the country and around the world. We put the amp in camp.
So the first thing you do is you introduce yourself. My name's Amay, Bailey, Piper, Brianna. And then there's band formation, and then you break up into instrument instruction, guitar, vocals, bass.
I had never played the bass before. Of course, I learned how to play drums, but I also learned about teamwork and communication, self-esteem.
And then you go into band practice.
There's no boys trying to overpower you.
And then you write a song.
And then you get to perform it at the end of the week.
It's super empowering. There's no feeling like being on a stage and having people cheering for you and looking at you.
I like choreographed it when we made the t-shirts.
Screen printing, there's tables, you make zines.
Which is like, it's kind of a magazine, and we did this self-defense class.
We learned the punch kick. It was the awesomest camp ever.
Every time I got to Girls Rock, I felt so welcomed and like I could be myself.
And so Rock Camp, I think, really inspires me, just not in just music, but also in my life.
We need your support to make it happen. We are a 501c3 nonprofit charity, so your donations are tax deductible. We believe every girl should go. So help us put the AMP in camp.
And I think it's also really fun.
It's just something that you don't get anywhere else. It's just a really great experience.
That's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. So it sounds like they're learning a lot more than just how to play an instrument.
Oh yeah, that's the big secret at Rock Camp.
Hey.
Is that we're really not a music camp. We teach music, but what we're really teaching is empowerment. And we're teaching these girls that they can use their voice and they can take up space and get loud and that they can change the world.
I love it, I love it. And that's important to learn at a young age. Because we lose girls, we just lose them, you know, they and I speak for myself, you know, how, you get to a certain point, it's like other people's opinions are more important than yours, and you want to fit in so badly, and you do stupid things to do that, and to bring up girls to be strong and have that self-confidence to know their voice is important.
Totally.
Yeah, that's really good stuff. So tell me about somebody that you've worked with there. I mean, is there, I imagine you have a lot of girls that come through that you can remember, and I don't know if you have a lot of them come back again. Do they have a lot of return?
We do, actually. About 50% of our campers every summer are returning campers. So a lot of the campers come at the very first age at 9 years old when they can come, and they come back every year until they turn 17, and then most of the time they want to be interns. And then they intern for 3 years, and then a lot of them come back and are adult volunteers. In fact, several of the campers that are featured in that video are now adult volunteers with camp.
Isn't that great? That is, I mean, that's a winning story right there, just because they feel like you've made a difference in their life, so otherwise they wouldn't be back there,
Oh, totally. I've had so many people tell me, what camp has done for them. Like kids and otherwise, we also have an adult camp. But we always get like, saved my life.
Really?
It made everything else less scary. Because once you can, make a piece of art with a bunch of people and then share it with the world
and put it out there.
Week, it's a lot of trust and a lot of.
It's kind of personal.
Oh, it's very personal. When I was a teen, I wouldn't share anything with anyone that I wrote, or if I was playing guitar, I was like hiding in my room.
It won't be good enough. Nobody will accept it or whatever. So you've really seen that in the girls.
And they build each other up. And there was definitely a camper a few years ago now who had moved here from across the country. Her grandmother had died, so she was moving to live with her aunt. Wow. And her aunt was like, all she does is sit on the internet, and she's depressed and like not going to school. And she was an excellent singer. But she wouldn't sing in front of anyone. She would only sing in the shower. And her aunt was like, I don't know what to do with her, and like she couldn't afford to pay for stuff. So we were like, just put her in. We just put her in. We didn't make her pay tuition because she couldn't. And the first day, I discovered like she ate her lunch in the bathroom and like wouldn't sing in class. It was just all kinds of nervous and scared. And but through the week they got her to open up. And then by the Saturday at the end of camp, she was belting out the song that she wrote with her friends, and went on to take music recording classes at PCC, and it's like music is very much in her life.
That probably changed her life right there.
I absolutely would say it did.
Well, somebody coming from across the country, that's hard enough as it is.
Taking me out of the shower and onto the stage. So
mine has to stay in the shower and the car, but that's really great.
And that's a really good point that Kaylee brings up about that camper, one of the tenets of Rock Camp, our camp, and all other camps around the world is that we never turn any camper away because of lack of funds. So that's one of the things that we make sure that every girl who wants to attend camp can, and that's when we really need our community support.
Okay, I know we're going to run out of time, so I want to show the other video I have, which is a very short one, but it's from this summer, right?
Yeah.
And it's really showing somebody expressing themselves. Let's go ahead and roll that one too. I bet she loves this.
Oh, she does, yeah.
And she's actually someone who came up as a camper, became an intern, and then this year was on staff for the summer. She was our summer camp coordinator, and she teaches guitar and does all kinds of stuff.
Great.
So that's kind of someone who was raised in camp, which is really cool to see now that we've been around almost 20 years. We're starting to see these adults.
You're getting the second generation coming through here pretty soon. Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. So I want to make sure we cover some things that are coming up. Now, you had a great summer, it sounds like.
Yep.
In October, you have the AMP Awards.
Yes.
At the AMP and Camp. So tell me about that real quick.
So the AMP Awards is our biggest fundraiser of the year. It's a rock show, a benefit show for camp. We will be honoring one of our camp legends, someone, again, who has come up through the ranks of camp, was a camper, an intern, a volunteer, a staff, president of our board.
Wow.
We will be presenting them with an award at the event, and of course raising needed funds for tuition assistance. So yeah, it's really fun. It's October 19th and it's on our website.
At the auditorium.
At the auditorium.
ODD.
Yeah, which is, we're excited to be there. It's the Dandy Warhol's practice and recording space, so we're really excited to be there.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's great. And then the Liberation Rock Camp, that's the adult one?
Correct.
Is that right?
Yeah, we do an abbreviated camp for adults.
Okay.
So it's going to run over a Thursday evening, Friday evening, and then all day Saturday, all day Sunday, culminating with the show and Sunday evening.
Wow.
But that's for anyone 21 and over. And they do the same thing: learn an instrument, form a band, write a song, perform.
That sounds great.
Yeah. So you could come be a rock star.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Stop singing in the shower and sing on stage.
Turn the mic off. We are out of time, so I just want to say real quick, the Roaming Rock Camp is a mobile RV band practice space?
It's part of what will become an after-school program.
Oh, so this is something you're working on?
Yes.
Okay.
Development.
Okay, that's great. So people need to go to your website, check it out, find out more, and then I assume you probably need volunteers, mentors, and people that want to give you money to keep it going.
Yes.
Let those girls who can't afford it keep it going.
All the things.
That's great. Thank you, Kaylee. Thank you, Christy, very much for being here today. I wish we had more time to talk, but this just means you have to come on again.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for watching this first segment of Community Hotline. We have a lot more coming up, so don't go away.
Hotline is made possible with generous support by Gresham Ford, the dealer with a heart. The Contribute to the Community program provides the opportunity for the Gresham Ford team to make a positive impact, serving their customers and helping people across the community. The Outlook, serving the residents of East Multnomah County for more than 100 years. The region's #1 source for information, The Outlook provides readers with intensely local coverage of the issues and people that impact our lives and community. The Mountain Hood Cable Regulatory Commission, advocating on behalf of the public interest on communications policy issues at the local, state, and federal levels.
And by Stamp Connection and BeFit Gyms. A very special thanks to all the sponsors who help make our programming possible.
week on Community Hotline, we highlight the great work of local nonprofits in our area. And now you can also see us on our live Facebook feed, 7 p.m. every second and fourth Wednesday of the month. So tune in and find out what's going on in your community.
It is so important for me to have the right, be able to speak what I want to speak and talk about what I want to talk about.
If you start shutting this person up and shutting that person up and shutting this person up, that's not America.
Hi, and welcome back to Community Hotline. I'm Monica Weitzel. We're here in Gresham at MetroEast Community Media. Glad you stayed with us because now we're going to be talking with the Multnomah County Cultural Coalition. It's a mouthful. And here to represent, I have Taj Armstrong, the MCCC board member and former MetroEast employee. Good to see you again.
But I never left. Good to see you.
That's what it feels like, but no, I'm glad you're here. And Paul Soucy, you are board chair for the Multnomah County Cultural Coalition.
I'm the co-chair, yes.
Yeah, okay, thanks for being here. So I'm familiar with the grant making a part of the coalition from when they actually used our conference room and people could apply for grants there. So I really want to hear about the grant season that you have coming up. But maybe you could start off, one of you, by telling me a little bit about why the coalition was formed and what exactly your duties are.
Sure. Yeah, well, so the Multnomah County Cultural Coalition is the re-granting arm of the Oregon Cultural Trust. So those fun little license plates that people see with the colors, that's the Oregon Cultural Trust license plate. And it created this endowment in the state to create resources for cultural organizations and programming all over the state. So
when people want that particular license plate,
yes,
the proceeds from that go to
yeah, the fee goes towards this trust, this endowment. They also take donations as well.
Yeah, but it's kind of a clever way to get money.
Yes,
I mean, it really is.
And then every county in Oregon has a cultural coalition that is sort of parented by the Oregon Cultural Trust. So we get a grant from Oregon Cultural Trust that we then divvy up in packets of $2,000 or less to grassroots cultural organizations. Folks just starting out, organizations just starting out and want to get their foot in the door and figure out how to apply for a grant. We're a great place to start.
Because applying for grants can be kind of overwhelming and intimidating for organizations, and they don't have to be a nonprofit, right? Do they have to be a nonprofit? They don't, do they?
So they do have to have an employee ID number, a tax ID, right? Okay. So you do have to be incorporated in some way, but you do not need to be a 501c3. You don't have to have all of your ducks in a row, right?
Just some of them. Yeah.
You mentioned earlier that it is hard. We work with a lot of, or we grant to a lot of grassroots organizations that are doing really good work in the community. And as you mentioned earlier, writing grants isn't always hard or easy.
It's not always easy. No.
It isn't always easy. So when you go to our website, multculturalcoalition.org.
It's also a mouthful.
Exactly.
We're not going to make that easy for
Wish
you.
that graphic is somewhere. But when you go to our website, we do have areas of our website that are specifically for folks that are seeking guidance on grant writing. And we also, I guess I'm just sorry, because you know me, I get excited. But we have actually an event, networking event on the 18th at the Portland Mercado. And that's a great, we're going to be, like I said, networking with other organizations that are doing work or that are seeking grants. And we're also going to have some folks there that can give some tips to writing grants, and they can kind of weigh their ideas on, in a small form there. Exactly. Yeah. So we really wanted to make this we really wanted to make this accessible for folks that are seeking grant funding for their projects.
I remember working with a woman here who was looking for a grant, and I directed her to you, and I honestly can't remember if she got the grant or not, but you made it really simple. It was probably the easiest process I've ever seen. And for people who have not been writing grants and applying for grants, and that's very welcoming and encouraging.
Right.
You know.
There's a couple of points. Number one, it needs to be somehow accessible to the public. That doesn't mean free. That just means you're making an effort to invite as many folks to your event, your cultural event,
so you can make
possible.
some impact on the community.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Number two, it has to happen in Multnomah County. Your organization has to be headquartered in Multnomah County.
So the organization has to be headquartered there, and if it's an event or whatever it is, has to happen in Multnomah County. Okay.
Correct. But we're super happy to be here because we want East County to really be able to access this resource as well. Yeah.
Okay. And so the grants that you give out, you said $2,000 and less. Where can people? They can do it online, but they can also. You have certain places that you go to in the community where people can come and ask questions.
Yes, we partner with the Regional Arts and Culture Council, RAC. RACC. They're our fiscal sponsor, so they're handling a lot of the logistics of this process. And the grant application process is fully online now. But you can contact RAC if you are having accessibility issues. We're also reaching out to the libraries to try to find folks there to help folks facilitate these applications as well.
Okay, yes, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
I mean, it's like playing double dutch. Yeah.
But, you run in now.
Exactly. But we are having grant workshops on September 14th. So this Saturday, that's going to be at Rockwood Library. And then on the 23rd, and Rockwood Library is from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Excuse me, I am cheating because I want to get the times right. Just call myself out because that's what I do, right? Yeah. And then on September 23rd, we'll be at the North Portland Library off of Killingsworth, I believe, and that's from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And folks can go there and ask questions and, just kind of, like I said, it's good to share your ideas with somebody that is in that kind of granting world.
Well, you could probably say, this is what I'm thinking of. Is this something that's fundable?
Exactly.
Totally.
Right? Exactly.
Totally.
Yeah. Just go in with that question.
Yeah, I mean, really.
This is what I want to do.
You might not know. It may be way off track from something you've done.
Sure.
So you brought some pictures, and I'm thinking we could bring those up, and maybe you can. And there are pictures, I believe, from events that have been funded.
Yes.
And so maybe they can bring those up, and you can give me an idea of the kind of funding that you have done for the community. So what? So this one is interesting. I like this. It's beautiful.
Yeah. If
you may not know what all these are, but off the top of your head, but
right. So we fund things like I believe this is the Thai American Association, but I'm not 100% sure about that.
We won't hold you to it.
But so this is a great example of an event that is open to the public, right? That is a celebration of a particular cultural perspective or cultural heritage that involves it involves multiple dimensions. They if I remember correctly, they had food, they had a performance aspect, they had just a community gathering event, right? And so $2,000 for an organization like this, that's going to go towards like permits, that's going to go towards basic supplies. Sometimes it's about stipends for the performers. That's the kind of thing. Yeah.
Are there very many limitations on how that money can be spent?
Not really. I mean, yes, there are. I should say there are. Yeah. But for your basic grassroots organization, so this I believe is Shakespeare in the Parks, which I am also the chair of the board of directors for Portland Actors Ensemble.
Well, there you go.
Shakespeare in the Parks.
And is that you there in the middle with the
Midsummer Night's Dream? Yeah, typecast again.
Playing the role of the donkey.
That's right, as usual. This is Ed Edmo. He's an amazing storyteller and just a cultural icon in the Native American community in Portland. So this is a storytelling event where they're sharing stories from his tribe, from their cultural heritage, and again accessible to the public, an educational component, right? Multidisciplinary. This could be classified as singing. It could be classified as storytelling, as theater, as live performance.
Well, the more we share each other's cultures, I mean, the better it is for us, right? We'll become more compassionate, more understanding of other people, and not so intolerant.
It's like a good pot of chili. Yeah. Just get all the spices in there.
There you go.
Who wants chili with no spice?
And one by one, they're not that impressive, but get us all together. And
it's beautiful. It's a beautiful community.
Yeah. So this is a documentary filmmaking workshop. I believe it's Northwest Film Center, but again, I'm not 100% sure about that. So this is working with student filmmakers to develop and create their own documentaries, their own films. And
there's a lot of storytelling in all of it, really. A little mariachi band.
The Gresham Senior Center, right?
Exactly.
So you know, we seriously, this grant is perhaps the most accessible in the Portland area. I mean, I've applied for grants from RAC and the Collins Foundation, all these places, and it's a lot of paperwork. It's really intimidating. We work really hard to make this grant really accessible to first-time folks who are just trying to explore the thing. Right. So this was a printmaking workshop.
Can't argue with that.
And that's pretty much the mission statement right there.
Oh, that's cool. So you are having a grant kickoff event.
The Portland Mercado.
That's the Portland Mercado, and that is on Southeast Foster. Then you have the grant application FAQ sessions at the Rockwood Library and the North Portland Library.
That's right.
Okay. So what does, is there anything in particular you look for? You're looking for things that are accessible to the public. You're looking for things that share culture. Is there anything else that's like, what is a reason why you might not give somebody a grant? You run out of money.
Well, let's see. How can I put this tactfully? The reasons why I would not give well, let me flip that and say the reasons why I would give someone a grant.
Okay.
We would. I mean,
keep it positive there.
Yes. So it's a panel review committee, right? So the Cultural Coalition, there's like 11 of us right now, and there's a committee of us that will be evaluating these grants. I believe the cutoff date is October 30th. Am I right on that? I mean, maybe check the website. Check the website.
Always check the website.
But then there's a day in November where this committee gathers together, and they've all reviewed and scored the applications ahead of time. And we spend a whole day talking about, like, what are we seeing? What are the patterns? You know, what are our preliminary scores? And it's very, it's very subjective. We have a diverse group of folks who are evaluating the grants and who bring their own perspectives and their own artistic or cultural experiences as well. And we talk about, like, what do we want to see in our community, and who should we support? Who should we raise up from obscurity, as it were?
So having a diverse group of people to evaluate it makes it kind of assures that you're going to have a diverse group that you're giving money to.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Because that's really important, and you don't always see that.
Right.
Yeah. So when you make your decision, I mean, there's not a lot of time from the time people apply to you reviewing it to getting the money, and that's a big deal too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's encouraging for an organization starting out.
That's
say,
right.
Hey, look at that turnaround. Woo! I can get started here.
Yeah. Applications submitted now will be funded starting available to be funded starting January 1st. Wow. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
And the grant cycle ends on October 4th.
Thank you.
October 4th. Okay. Good. Thank you.
Time.
So we're just about out of time. What else do we need to know about the Multnomah County Cultural Coalition?
We're always looking for volunteers. We're always looking for folks who want to serve on the board or who want to participate in the grant review panel. We have everything in hand for this cycle, but please think of us if you want to get involved. And
it's a great experience. This year was my first year. Was it this year?
Yeah.
I can't. The time just But this was my first time on the panel. And you just get to see all of the work that's happening in the community.
Yeah.
If you're someone that loves arts and culture, if you're someone that works in nonprofit, and you're curious about what's happening in the community, what other folks are doing, this is a good opportunity to do so. This is a good opportunity to advocate for arts, and especially some of those really grassroots kind of
I want to paint a mural on the side of the building.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know, they don't have the staff or the you know, the grant writers, but they are doing
the people either.
Yeah, but they're doing good work, and this is an opportunity to advocate for those organizations that are doing good work and need the grant, need the funding.
They give them that head start there.
That's right.
Yeah, great. Well, thank you, Taj, and thank you, Paul. I really appreciate you both being here today. I'm hoping there are some people out there that are going, yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now's the time.
You can do that.
Yes.
You can do that. Do it.
No pressure.
Yeah. Thank you both. I know I do have to stop here because I do have another guest coming up. So
let's laugh some more, Monica.
Thanks for watching this segment of Community Hotline, and we will be right back. Sure.
Community Hotline is made possible with generous support by Gresham Ford, the dealer with a heart. The Contribute to the Community program provides the opportunity for the Gresham Ford team to make a positive impact, serving their customers and helping people across the community. The Outlook, serving the residents of East Multnomah County for more than 100 years. The region's #1 source for information, The Outlook provides readers with intensely local coverage of the issues and people that impact our lives and community. The Mountain Hood Cable Regulatory Commission, advocating on behalf of the public interest on communications policy issues at the local, state, and federal levels.
And by Stamp Connection and BeFit Gyms. A very special thanks to all the sponsors who help make our programming possible.
I feel like everybody loves music. And for kids like us in Rockwood to have something like this, like the tools that you guys provide for us, I feel like it's really important because we can get our, our story out. We can tell about what we're going through in these streets and stuff.
Hi, and welcome back to Community Hotline. I'm Monica Weitzel. We're here in Gresham at MetroEast Community Media. And it must be fall because we're here to talk about the Fall Festival of the Arts. I don't know where the summer went, but it's already time to talk about that. And here to talk about it, I have the West Columbia Gorge Chamber of Commerce is the organization that puts this event on. But here to talk about it is Robert McGinnis. You're the 2018 Artist of the Year.
Hi, Monica.
Welcome. It's great to have you here. And Donna Irwin, you're the 2019 Artist of the Year.
Hi.
Yeah, so welcome. Tell me, have you both been involved with the Fall Festival of the Arts since it began?
Yes.
Yes, both of us.
Yeah, both of you have. Okay. Mm-hmm. So maybe you can tell me a little bit about it. I know it's a chamber event, and it's grown in the last few years. Tell me why this was started and how it's changed.
Okay. Well, I found out about it by going into Donna's shop and talking to her about framing.
Okay.
6 weeks before the show. And she asked me if I would consider being in a painting event outdoors. And I said, sure. And she said, we have a little show starting over in the park. And she said the purpose of this is to help Troutdale and the East County become an art destination spot. And for me, I became passionate immediately.
Yeah.
Because I'm a small town boy from Montana, and I gravitate towards small towns.
Like Troutdale.
Yeah, and so I've kind of adopted it. And I started my artistic journey here. As a teenager, I was still in high school. I came out to the gorge to sketch and take photographs with my little Polaroid camera.
Nice.
So the show started. It was only a one-day show then. And we were kind of making it up as it went along.
And how did it turn out the first year?
We survived.
You survived. Yeah. You made it through.
Yeah.
Enough to do it again.
Yeah. Well, and we thought, well, there's ways to improve this.
Yeah.
So I still wasn't involved. I was just an exhibitor. But they decided to make it a 2-day event.
So we've expanded to 2 days.
Okay.
We've added in local authors.
So when you say artists, then it's not just visual arts,
right?
So we have visual arts and authors.
Authors. We have live music. What else do we have? We have there's a kid zone.
Yes, it's family friendly now.
That's good.
Kid zone, so the kids can get involved, and that's where it all starts. You know, I've said that eventually I'm going to be selling to my grandchildren or their generation. And I have some very young collectors, as young as 7,
really?
that have bought a painting or had their moms buy it.
I love
which
that.
Is really cool. I know.
Is.
It's just
exposing kids to art and getting them to appreciate it at a young age. Anything you learn at a young age that like I'm a real believer in exposing kids to doing community, being part of the community by volunteering. And I think if you expose them to it at a young age, it becomes part of them. Same thing with art. If you expose them to it and they start. Yeah, I need that in my life because everybody does. It's
So we want the whole family to be there and enjoy it. Something for everyone.
We have demonstrators. The Pacific Northwest Sculptors Guild comes and they demonstrate sculpting. So
there's a lot of sculpting in the gorge, isn't there?
Yeah. So everyone enjoys watching that. You kind of see the process.
Which is really fascinating to just see this lump of something become this thing of beauty. I know the gorge has foundries and what are all kinds of art are represented here? So you have the sculptures.
We have fiber art.
Fiber art.
Handmade jewelry.
Yeah.
Glass work.
So people have their things for sale, and then they're also demonstrating how they create it. So I don't know if everybody does that or just some people do that. I imagine,
a few demonstrations.
Everybody out there.
And we encourage, touching, hands-on.
Yeah. And you're talking to the people that come up there.
Yeah.
You're talking to them, engaging them so that they understand your process, or if they have questions about it, they can ask. And it's not. I mean, I think some people are intimidated by art. And just, well, I don't know anything about art. I don't know if it's good or not.
I've heard that 1,000 times.
I bet you have.
And I just say, just go with what you like. That's how I do it.
Yeah, do you like it?
Yeah.
Then there you go.
And this is a very friendly, laid back, beautiful setting.
Yes.
It's indoors in the Sam Cox building at Glen Auto Park, and also outdoors. It's got a beautiful setting outside.
It's on the river, Sandy River. Yeah, it is pretty. So, and this is going on September 21st and 22nd, Saturday and Sunday. Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday from 10 to 4. You know, it's also a good time, I suppose, to look for something you might want to give somebody at the holidays, you know, because you have that, you know, things for sale. So in the kids zone, what goes on there? What
they get to do some hands-on craft projects, or
so they can create their own art.
Yeah, they have artists working with them, or have art supplies that they can try their hand at sculpting or painting or gluing. Or
I think the best thing about kids is you ask them, well, tell me about this.
Yeah.
You know, and then they'll have some elaborate story about what it is. It's like, oh, okay.
Very creative.
So, just to answer your question, it has grown greatly. I became involved 2 years ago. I wanted to share my experience with social media because I wanted them to use that. I discovered the power of social media.
Power of social media, asking people to share it, and then they share it. And
So I kept coming back. They couldn't get rid of me. But I've done this since I was 18 years old, full-time professional artist. So I've I don't know 300 art shows maybe.
Wow, that's
quite
a few. I guess you have some experience.
I know what works and what doesn't.
So tell me about your art.
Well, I'm a painter, and nature. Water,
you think there's
flowers.
Nature out here to paint?
Yeah, that's why I came to the Gorge. I just fell in love with it, and I still have that love for it 50 years later.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm the T-shirted artist this year.
Oh, you are?
I am.
Nice.
And this is the first year we've had, I encouraged them to do a T-shirt for the men and women in different colors. And so I designed a painting of Punch Bowl Falls.
Oh.
So it's going to be on the T-shirt.
Oh, is this?
Well, that's one of my paintings.
That's gorgeous.
That's on the Clackamas River.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I started that on location, and the person that owns the property came out and said, well, I want to buy that when you're done. So,
wow, there you go.
Sold. Yeah.
Does he
so,
did he commission any more, perhaps? That's beautiful.
Actually, he did.
Did he?
So I do realism. I want you to feel like you're there.
Well, I was going to say the water looked like I could touch it.
Yeah,
I would get wet touching it. Yeah. So Donna, tell me about your art.
So I'm a picture framer, and I'm being recognized this year for picture framing as art. And most people don't think of that as an art, but
they think of it as something they put the art in.
Right.
Yeah.
And there is quite an art to picture framing. There's ways to take it to the next level without overtaking the art. The art should always be the focal point.
Working away.
And,
so
she's modest. She's not going to tell you she's a national award winner and international.
And international as well?
In framing.
So what are the awards that you get? What are they called?
There's the Professional Picture Framers Association has framing competitions that go international. I've won a couple of those. And the TrueView glass company that puts out the museum glass and the conservation glass, they host a competition, and I won the big grand prize last year, and in 2015 I won the big grand prize for that.
So I didn't know this. That's very impressive.
Yeah.
How do you get into something like that?
Well, I found out through the Professional Picture Framers Association. It's our trade guild.
Well, how do you get into picture framing? How do you get into picture framing as a career?
I actually went to school for interior design.
Okay.
And that was back east in Art Institute of Philadelphia.
Okay.
And when I moved back to Oregon, I'm from Oregon, there just wasn't jobs in interior design at the time. And I took a job at a frame shop, and I loved it. It was using all of those design, the color, texture, balance of everything, putting it together in the picture frame. And people, people that frame stuff, the stuff that's important to them. It could be family things, it could be stuff from vacations. Maybe these people have traveled all over the world. It's the same way that they decorate their home. with the things that matter to them.
Yeah, so you want to focus on those. You want the focus to be on them, and you know how to make them shine.
Right.
That's really cool.
But
her mats are amazing. She's a true artist, just cutting mats.
I remember once trying to cut my own, and it was such a joke. It was like, yeah.
So there's things you can do to where it becomes an art form.
Yeah.
Like I do hand carving in mats, and that's done with an X-Acto knife and carve intricate designs into the mats.
Wow.
Or people paint on mats, or in fabric wrapping and doing embossed designs in mats. Or I do a lot of stacking frames and using different materials to create different looks.
I think people are going to listen to this and go, never thought of that. Never thought of that. And that's why that picture doesn't look so good, or what. You know, it takes somebody to look at it.
She doesn't overdo it. A lot of framers just put on everything.
They're putting on a show.
Yeah.
Look at me, I'm the frame. So I don't want to forget that you brought a video that shows the Fall Festival of the Arts, where we can see. Were you going to be demonstrating any of the framing, or are you just going to have your stuff?
I'm going to have example. I'm going to have new examples of.
Okay. And are you demonstrating this here, or are you?
No, I'll just be in my booth selling paintings.
I think that's enough. Okay, well let's take a look at that video. People can kind of get a feel for what to expect. That's great. That's great. It looks, it looks wonderful, and the scenery there is just so pretty. What a great place to. Yeah, it is. I hope.
For trees. There's a paved path that the exhibit booths are lining there, so you don't get muddy.
Yeah, good. It is. Yeah, late September. Could go either way. Before we run out of time, what are you most looking forward to this year?
There's a couple new things. Like we have the community art trout project.
Art trout project?
Yeah. So people they created these trout out of recycled materials, and community members, adults and children, have decorated them. All different personalities of these trouts, and those are going to be there to choose your favorite one.
And do you know what they'll do with them afterwards? Are they things that will be displayed somewhere, do you think?
Well, I think that some of them will be for sale, and the proceeds from that will go towards the Alzheimer's Association, which is our benefit this year.
So the proceeds go to the Alzheimer's Association, which is obviously
for
very
that.
Important.
And we also have a silent auction that the artists have contributed towards, and a portion of that will go to the Alzheimer's Association.
Right. Okay, how about you? Anything?
Well, I feel the show is really coming into its own this year.
Yeah.
It's all fallen together. I'm so excited about it. I want to share it with people.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things that every year you figure out what didn't work and you tweak it a little bit, and now it's gotten to you're at the sweet spot now.
This year we've nailed it.
Great. Well, it sounds great, and I know last year I wanted to go and I wasn't able to, and so I'm hoping to get there this year and check it out. So hopefully I'll see you both there. But family-friendly event. September
we need volunteers. Anybody who wants to come volunteer?
We have local food vendors, local wine and craft beer.
Yeah, saw that there. That looked good. Made me hungry. I need to go eat dinner. So it looks wonderful, and I appreciate that. And the Artists of the Year, I don't exactly know what that means, except it's got to be a pretty nice honor.
It is a nice honor, and I get to show off what does bring picture framing to art level.
Well, I'm out of time. Thank you both so much. We'll see you at the Fall Festival of the Arts.
You, Monica.
Yeah, you bet.
Thank you.
Community Hotline is made possible with generous support by Gresham Ford, the dealer with a heart. The Contribute to the Community program provides the opportunity for the Gresham Ford team to make a positive impact, serving their customers and helping people across the community. The Outlook, serving the residents of East Multnomah County for more than 100 years. The region's #1 source for information, The Outlook provides readers with intensely local coverage of the issues and people that impact our lives and community. The Mount Hood Cable Regulatory Commission, advocating on behalf of the public interest on communications policy issues at the local, state, and federal levels.
And by Stamp Connection and BeFit Gyms. A very special thanks to all the sponsors who help make our programming possible.